sausages, burgers and cheese. We normally buy them in supermarkets. We may know they come from farms, but how much more do we know about life on a farm and how cheese and meat is produced? We decided to make a film to show how this works, made by young people, about young people that went and visited farms to learn about where food comes from. They are Chris, Hannah, Rachel and Ed. This is Farm to Fork.
Well, I just thought it'd be interesting looking how the food's made on farms, and I've never been to one, so I thought it'd be a good experience.
The educational value of it. I'm hoping that it's going to make me sort of appreciate where food comes from.
Okay, well, I'm Lottie and I am the kitchen assistant in Healthy Hub. Since starting here, I now do a health and wellbeing course and teach other people to cook healthy ingredients on a budget. Yeah, it's quite easy on a budget to cook healthily. I think you need to be a bit more creative with it though. So sometimes you have to buy quite a lot just for one meal. But as long as you think, well, actually I can freeze that, it's still healthy, homemade and fresh, you've then got it for another time.
Okay, right. Well, I'm Janet Godfrey and I'm a farmer. So most of what I have to say to you today is about supporting your local farmers in particular, because every penny you spend with a local farmer, 80% of it is recycled into the local economy. If you can buy local Lincolnshire, that's great. But if you can't buy Lincolnshire, then if you can buy British, then that's good. Consider where it comes from. Always consider where it comes from. Mm-hmm. The UK is actually a very productive soil. It's brilliant for growing things. And in the west of the country, it's great for grass, fantastic for grass, cows, sheep. Mm-hmm. In the east of the country, it's drier and it's good for cereals. We have a perfect climate for farming. The reason we are more expensive than most other countries is the cost of our labour. It swings and roundabouts, mm-hmm. People have to be paid, but that adds to the price of your food. Right, I hope that you've learned a lot about food and farming.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I actually only buy free-range eggs because I actually prefer them to like normal eggs. But any other food I just buy cheaper because it's just I don't get really a lot of money.
I've made a conscious decision to really investigate and find out where my food is sourced.
I'm not overly conscious in what I buy. To be fair, for me, it's all about price.
I know a little bit, but not much.
I have had experience of farms when I was growing up. However, this would be my first opportunity of seeing the whole process, really.
When they have events and things there, I think they look quite fantastic. Well, like
I'm going to show you everything. So I'll show you from pig to plate, sort of thing, all the way through.
How long have you been here?
Right, so these are a real mixture of pigs. These, the bigger ones in here are ready. He looks like he's definitely ready to go off to slaughter. In fact, he ought to go now. And these ones are just getting to be big enough. These little ones are probably they're about 3 or 4 months old. We take them to slaughter at about 6 or 7 months old. He's definitely big. He's going to be in trouble unless they're keeping him back as a boar, which they might be. They do get quite burnt because they've got nothing to protect them. No. So that's why they roll in mud. Is they use mud like suntan lotion. So they're not dirty because they're dirty. They're dirty because they're protecting their skin.
Oh, they're so cute. Hello, big boy.
Yeah, so the vast majority of pork, so bacon, sausages, whatever you'll eat in this country will be from intensive units where the pigs are inside all day. There's only about 2% of pigs in this country which are kept like this outside. This is ideal land for pigs, but not quite so good for crops. So, so gradually they get moved onto sort of fresh land about every 6 months or so. They've fertilised that now, and it's lovely. So we can now grow potatoes or whatever else we grow for them. They were slaughtered yesterday. and they're stunned, so they're completely dead.
Yeah,
They're done in their heads very, very quick, so they don't even know what's happening. They come in one at a time, so they're not allowed to see anybody else coming in. So they come in, quick, bang, gone. They're hung upside down and their throats are cut. By that time they're dead, but their throats are cut, and so all the blood drains. Yeah, really quickly. It's meat.
It's proper been cut in half. Yes. Let's go. Ooh, sorry.
It's got a bit of sage. Is it sagey?
Tastes peppery to me.
Yeah, peppery. That's it.
It gets
Yes,
right to the back of
yeah.
your throat, doesn't it?
I feel like a wine
That was
colour
more
as well.
That's Lincolnshire sausage.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
was
it
about to
is.
say that.
But lovely jubbly.
Very porky.
I don't like that.
Okay, yeah.
Number 3.
That is my favourite.
That was definitely a home.
Didn't taste very sausagey.
Oh, I like number 5. That's good, spicy.
It's been great. I've loved sort of getting my hands dirty and trying to play with the pigs. So I loved that.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed what I've seen today.
It didn't really bother me, to be honest. It was a bit cold, but the carcass didn't bother me at all.
It's made me feel a bit sick, like seeing all the inside of the pig like properly there. Just horrible.
They're just a lot more meat. The meat's more, I don't know how to explain it really, like compact, if you know what I mean.
Here, the quality of the Lincolnshire sausage was superb. I would give it 10 out of 10 for quality.
The texture was richer. You could certainly distinguish the sort of herbs and the spices that were available, and it wasn't so watery.
To definitely take my time and like choosing more better quality meat and think where it comes from.
The process that meat has to go through before it gets put on the shelves.
That a happy pig means a happy sausage.
I would certainly say that the way in which the animal is reared and looked after does have an impact on the taste of the food. Simply because I think if they're exercising more, then they're going to have more muscle structure, you know, they're going to burn off a lot of the sort of fats and things like that, so that you really do get a great sort of flavour.
I don't think it makes a tastier sausage because I don't know how a happier pig can, but being outside definitely, I think that makes them tastier, and having to be able to live their lives is better.
Well, it must have had some effect on the food because the sausages, they were really nice. They were literally melting in your mouth. You could taste the meat in them. Whereas sausages that I would normally buy, they don't taste like that.
So these are the calves that have been born this summer. All of them, they've all been born this summer. They're all a mixture. The black and white ones are Friesians or Holsteins, and the brown ones are Red Pole Cross Friesians. The black one in this pen is an Aberdeen Angus. We've got an Aberdeen Angus bull. Sometimes they come with a little reddy hint, sometimes they're black. These were born this last week. In this pen, these calves are 6 weeks old, and the far pen about 4 weeks. Cows come into season every 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
But how long do they stay in season?
24 hours. It's quite suck, isn't it?
That's like a Dyson.
They are lovely. I want one.
Oh, this one's my favourite. Look. I think that's enough now.
They're lovely. They're sucking my feet.
We go in. Okay, guys, go milking. Do all of you want to try milking cows?
Yeah. Here we go.
So we have to prepare the cows udders so the cows' teeth are really fairly clean, right? But they have been walking around outside, so there's probably going to be bacteria on the surface of the teeth. So we just need to spray these with iodine, get a good covering, okay?
Wow.
So if you'd like to spray Heidi, now the next thing is we need to dry them. So, big towel for you. So that's what, 2 cows. So 1 paper towel for each cow. Alright? What we're going to do, hand on there, and then we get all the iodine off and any muck. So that's fairly clean, really, there's not much on there at all. Okay, so if you just come up here, you can do this cow up here. Right, the next thing we need to do is we strip the full milk out, and we're checking for a disease called mastitis, okay? Yeah. And that will be indicated by white clots in the milk. You just get the top of the teat, and you're squeezing it, and then you bring your fingers round to the teat at the bottom, and that just squeezes the milk out. So literally like that.
Oh!
Okay?
Cool, yeah.
To get this on, we need to get the vacuum. There's no vacuum in here, it won't hang on to the cow's teeth. We press the start button. We've now got vacuum. So put your hand over that. Have we got vacuum? Yeah, have we got vacuum? Good. So that's going to hold them onto the cow's teeth.
Okay.
So what we do is we hold it and we sort of steer it, alright, and position it. That's it, well done, we've got to sort of, that's it now, this last. Yeah. A little more if you can, that's it now then. Hold it. And that's it, keep it keen.
You've got to get it big.
This is the last thing the cow going out. I'll work up the cow.
This was how, before we had the new vat, we hand filled them all. So we've got a little bit more mechanised, but not totally. And this is the pipe here. This is the all-important pipe that comes from the milking parlour.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's down there for cleaning, but that white pipe goes into the cheese vat. This vat is a tipping vat. Compressed air lifts it up and tips it, so it makes it quite easy to fill the moulds. This is the baking room. The cheese on the rack is the cheese we made yesterday. This morning, the first job was to rub salt onto the surface of that cheese.
Is that to preserve it? Or?
Is to preserve it, yeah, and also add flavour. On the table you can see in the moulds is some cheese that we've made today. That's going to be our Coathills Red. It's a coating that we put on the cheese to protect it and allow it to mature.
Okay.
Altogether we can make 1,000 litres of milk into cheese.
Is it a labour-intensive process?
Very. We stir with our hands and we feel the curd and then we fill the moulds with our hands. It's very, very hands-on. There were 3 of us making 1,000 litres of milk into cheese, so yes, it is quite labour-intensive. This is the blue maturation room. So if you look through the window, you can see on there the blue cheese maturing.
How long does it mature for?
The blue cheese is in there for 2 weeks.
Wow. Measuring jug, a bowl.
On the table there if you want to spread
Colander
out.
or sip.
Yeah, there's
Wow. Lemon juice. Wow.
lemon juice there. That's
Thank
that
you.
there. You're going to measure 100 grams of milk into the jug, pour it into the bowl, microwave it for 50 seconds. 50 seconds it is. 50.
There you go. Short done. Next one.
And then a liberal amount of lemon juice over the surface. So you can either sprinkle with the lemon juice in the bottle or a spoon and just spoon it over the surface. And then don't stir, wait. It'll just count up for 20 seconds.
Oh my god, it's working!
Keep going and then so now you're getting your curd and your whey.
Well, cool.
Alright, no, you're fine. You're fine, I think it's good. That's it. So then that's it. Just collect it all together and then it'll drain. So that's your whey. Milk's got protein in it, yeah? So the lemon juice is equivalent to the rennet that I use when I'm cheese making.
So, put the muslin into the jar.
Hold on. Oh yeah, there you are. Is it right? Yeah,
This is the moment of truth.
So now Hannah's joined together in sort of a... Oh, looks, that's lovely. Now you need to just strain it back into your jug. So there is your curd cheese, and in the jug is your whey. Traditionally, housewives use the whey to make scones.
So if I did
In the fridge again.
I'm really looking forward to eating this because it's the first time I've ever made cheese.
cheese, I'm proper proud of that.
It was well fun.
Great. I love
Now I know how
making
to
it.
make cheese at home.
Yes, I think it's connected me with a sense of what I eat at meal times and where that all comes from. I think sometimes I'd been disconnected from that in the past.
The highlight of my sort of experience will be putting my fingers so the cows could suckle on the little calves. That was it was really sort of a weird sensation. I enjoyed making the cheese, that was sort of novel to me, and yeah, milking the cows really.
Yeah, it was a brilliant experience, like getting hands on, actually seeing it from less than a metre away and that, so.
I would say that a lot of my behaviours will change from this experience in terms of buying sort of free-range eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, and I probably will make my own cheese in future.
I think it certainly will have an impact on my eating and purchasing habits, because I will want to make sure that it comes from a local sort of source. I found when we actually tested and tried the meat there, it was beautiful. It was so rich in texture. And I want to be able to keep supporting those local farmers.
Yeah, I think I would pay a little bit more for food that I respect, because having had the experience of tasting the better sausage and the happy sausage, so to speak, it was far better in terms of quality, in the taste, I mean, just by cutting it with your knife. So yeah, I mean, in terms of sort of the price difference, if there was a little increase, I might be more sort of inclined to buy it. But if it was a major increase in price, like £1.50 more, I probably wouldn't, because my budget just wouldn't stretch that far.
Yeah, they definitely should be taught more about it, because it's interesting and they might really like it.
Yes, I think it is of crucial importance that young people and families as well are educated about food and where their food comes from, because there can be a sense of disconnection from what people are eating, and they don't realise in quite the same conditions of how it's come about. And this idea of buying cheap, at what cost? It could be the fact that by going and buying something at a very low price, we're actually forcing a lot of farmers out of business. So I want to be a responsible consumer, and I want to ensure that I support the local economy.